Hello and welcome. Today we're taking a look at the Brownell's BRN180 1913 Picatinny stock, as well as the Grovtec QD sling swivel for hollow stocks with the locking nut. So my biggest problem with this stock, other than how thin it is the complete lack of a sling swivel attachment whatsoever. Because of the funny shape, there's not really anywhere that we can, do paracord. There's no sling mount on the bottom for traditional style sling, and the front here takes the entirety of the rail on the BRN180 lower, so I can't add a separate QD to the back of the receiver. So using this Grovtec QD cup here, I think we can add a sling swivel mount to this stock. So this is just a QD cup that happens to be threaded and then has a nut. So instead of threading and then gluing this basically into a wood stock, because this is a hollow body polymer stock, we can drill a hole where we want this thing, thread the QD socket into it, and then from the inside install the locking washer, and it should hold it in place and it should be a good solution for us. So that's what we're gonna do, and let's get to it. And on the inside here, we can see it is a hollow body stock with, it's not a super thin wall, but it's thin enough that there's really no way that we can put anything in that. So next I'm gonna drill a 1/2 inch hole right here. About right there is good. All right, here we are on the felony machine, and for our purposes, this doesn't have to be super duper precise. We have a 1/2 inch drill bit here, and that is slightly undersized compared to the socket itself, which is 9/16. Although, super important note, it does need to go only through the one side. We only want to go through this side of the plastic. This side, totally unchanged, just the one. And there we go. That's our hole. And that's all we need. And here we are at a different location and different day. I tried to use the threads on the adapter, since this is just plastic, to self-tap into the stock, but the bevel there on the beginning really prevented that from gripping so that it couldn't really self-tap. Regardless, now that we have what we need, we can continue. And this is where I messed up. I got a 9/16 by 12 tap, but the threads on the adapter are actually 9/16 by 18. I think this info should be more widely available, since it was missing from the Brownell's listing where I bought it, as well as not being printed on the package itself, but I digress. Ultimately, I thought it was just struggling to grip the threads and ended up just cross-threading it and sending it. It's not going anywhere, but it would have been easier and better if I used the right tools for the job. So learn from my mistake and get a 9/16 by 18 tap. So using the hex head that's cut on the inside of the QD insert, we can use that to screw this in. I finally got it halfway started, and that took more effort than I thought it would. So we have this thing started, and we are going to finish threading it in. Now we have this guy basically flush all the way around, and threads sticking through the hollow body of the stock itself. So that's what we're looking for. That is really as simple as this is. Now we can take our 9/16, basically a lock washer, and finagle it onto those threads. There we go. So now we just need to spin that on. So we don't want to tighten it too tight, so we don't want to crush anything, but that's definitely not going anywhere. And we're flush, tightened on the inside. Everything else still works as it should. That's what we wanted. So let's get this back together. All right, so with that in place, we have this setup going on right now. And we now have a QD. So now we have a sling mount here. So this thing can now be used to actually sling the BRN180 lower, and as well as the stock. Of course, right now I have it on a 22 upper. But that's a lot better and actually workable. It's, actually nice and it's useful. I do want to see what it looks like when stock is folded. This is the biggest drawback to this style of sling situation, is that when it is folded, it's right on top of the other sling stud, and that's less than ideal. Yeah, that's not great. My use case is more based around it actually being deployed. And for that, I think we have vastly improved our utility. And so I will definitely take that. Now we just have nice, simplistic QD sling mount. regardless, I think this is a vast improvement. For less than 20 bucks, not bad. If you have one of these stocks and you want a Sling option, I think that one's a pretty good one. So that's all for now, and I'll see you next time.